Hi, I'm Tara Grodjesk, Vice President for Earthlite Spa and Wellness Products and founder and president of Tara Spa Therapy. Today we have an Aromatherapy Basics course, which is a great overview on essential oils and how they're made and what they do and how they can benefit your massage therapy practice and also self-care practice at home. There's a lot to cover in the hour, and I have some slides, some PowerPoint slides I'd like to share with you, and we'll go through those, and then I will touch on some of the essential oils and their benefits and some of the other aromatherapy products that we have in the Earthlite Holistic Alchemy collection. So I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share with my slides. So here's our Aromatherapy Basics class, how to use essential oils in your professional practice and for self-care at home. The class is going to cover, as I mentioned, understanding what essential oils are and where they come from and what they do. I'll include a brief history of aromatherapy, and then how essential oils are made and different extraction methods and how they can be used in treatment programs. And then we'll share some of the essential oils, as I said, and some of their benefits. And I'll also discuss how adding aromatherapy to your massage practice can really impact your clients in such a positive way and also be beneficial for you. So where I like to start is, what is aromatherapy? You know, it's a big buzzword and we use it very loosely, and a lot of people don't really understand what it really is, and a lot of people will smell fragrance products and massage oils or lotions and they'll say, oh, that's a pretty scent, or what flavor is that? Well, aromatherapy, it can be misleading because it's not just about the aroma, but it's actually about the chemistry of the essential oils when they are absorbed into the body. But the term aromatherapy is popular, and there are many, many ways to define it or to describe it, but I like to use this definition as a starting point. Okay, it's the art and science. The art is the perfumery, is the scent preferences. The scent preference is very subjective. Some people like citruses, some people like spicy, some people like florals. So the scent part of it can be very subjective, and we can describe it as artistic perfumery sometimes when we're blending with the essential oils. The science is the chemistry. It is the chemical makeup of the botanical extractions. And these extractions are coming from, as I said, botanicals from different parts of the plant, flowers, trees, herbs, roots, and so on, seeds. And so they're extracted from different plant material, and they have different benefits based on their chemistry. So they can calm, they can uplift, they can energize, balance, and rejuvenate. We say body, mind, and spirit because they have many benefits, many effects on the whole being, not just physically, but also on mental, emotional, the psyche, energetics, and so on. The term aromatherapy is actually fairly modern. It was coined in the 20th century by French cosmetic chemist René Maurice Gottfass. And, so it's a fairly modern term, but we have found traces of the use of essential oils in ancient times. Recipes for aromatic plants found in Egyptian tombs, and aromatics have been used or were used in Persia and Greece, Rome, China, and throughout Europe in ancient times. And the oldest steam distillation tank which is used to extract the plant material, extract the essential oils from the plant material, was found in northern India or Pakistan. It dated back at least 5,000 years. And we know that infused oils are used in Ayurvedic medicine in India as well and throughout the globe today, but it goes back that far. So we know traditional use of essential oils is ancient practice for ritual and healing purposes. Beginning in the 1600s, synthetics were produced in laboratories, were starting to be produced in laboratories to replace herbal medicine. So that is the beginning of modern medicine, believe it or not. But by the end of the 19th century, the medical community had shifted mostly to synthetics. Seems like a long time ago. And so, the herbal practice, the herbal medicine got lost somewhat. in the 20th century, there was a reawakening, particularly in France and England, to the benefits of herbal medicines and aromatherapy. You find in France that medical doctors and naturopathic physicians will use essential oils for medical treatment, either through oral administration in gel capsules or injection. Now, that is not allowed in the US. It's the FDA does not allow internal use of the essential oils, although I know that there are some companies out there that do promote that, but the FDA does not approve that at this time. So we like to take the more conservative approach and say that the essential oils, while they are pure and organic and medical grade, the Earthlite branded oils, they are for topical use only. The essential oils actually give fragrance to the plant. Sometimes we call them phytohormones, the life force of the plant. And as we said, they're organic natural substances and they're derived from different plant parts, like I mentioned, leaves and flowers and seeds and beans, fruits, rinds, the peel of a lemon or a lime or orange, flowering blossoms, and so on. And then roots, of course, and even bark from the tree. Cedar wood is a good example. They're extracted in different methods, but steam distillation is one of the more popular methods, but it really depends on what the plant part is. There are some materials that can't be extracted through steam distillation, and even like some delicate flowering tops, the blossoms are so delicate, they can be steam distilled, but they don't yield enough essential oil, so they're very cost prohibitive and not very viable in the marketplace. So you do see them occasionally, but they're very, very expensive. I'm talking about the most precious, delicate flowers like jasmine and rose, like that, and even chamomile. Sometimes it's hard to get steam distilled. But rose and jasmine are great examples where they use different extraction methods called an enfleurage method. And then the jasmine is called the jasmine absolute or rose absolute, just to let you know that there are different extraction methods. And cold pressing is another where, as I said, you can take the peel of an orange or grapefruit and lemon lime and they press the peel. And just like if you were at a bar and you took the lemon peel that twists and gives a spray of lemon zest, and that's the essential oil from the peel. So that's a cold pressing technique. So a range of different extraction methods. And the essential oils are very tiny in molecular structure. They're very similar to the tissues of your skin in that, I'll explain that in a moment, but tiny molecular structure. So they penetrate very, very quickly and easily. Also because they're lipophilic. That's what I was going to say. They're fat soluble, fat friendly. So they absorb into the fatty tissues, the dermal layers very easily and quickly penetrate. The essential oils are highly concentrated extracts. So we have to think of them different than herbal tea, like, you know, the tea bag that you put in your hot water in the morning, for example. You know, you use a different amount of the dried herbs than you do with essential oils. The essential oils are 75 to 100 times more concentrated than the dried herbs. So that's why less is generally more. So you never take lots and lots of drops like to a base oil for your massage. It's always a small quantity, and just as the guideline, 10 to 15 drops per ounce of unscented base oil. The essential oils are super concentrated. So in a diffuser, for example, I'll just show you our Earthlite diffuser because I love it so much. It has Bluetooth and has color in it, and there are a lot of diffusers on the market. This is just a very high quality diffuser. I love it a lot. And as you know, with a diffuser, you're putting drops of the essential oils into the diffuser tab, and you just need a few drops. It goes a long way. Of course, we know that the essential oils are aromatic or odorous. They have scent, right? And that's what's so fun about them, that there's a whole range of scents. We often say top, middle, and base notes. I'm not going to get into that today. That's a lot more about blending, custom blending, and perfumery, where you balance your blends with top, middle, and base notes. So I won't get into that today. That would be, require more detail. But it's just really good to know that, these aromas, they do have different weights, So the blossoms are a lighter, and the citruses are very light notes. And so often in a blend, that's the first thing that you'll catch in the scent. And the heavier, more viscous oils are the resins and the roots, like cedarwood or sandalwood, vetiver. Those kinds of oils are very thick and viscous, as I said, and they're called the base notes. So they hold a blend together. But very importantly, and not talking about blending, but just about the essential oils in general, we say that the essential oils, again, it depends on the chemistry or that particular chemotype of the essential oil. But in general, we like to describe them as antiseptic, bactericidal, bacteriostatic, cytophylactic, which is could be a new word for some of you. The cytophylactic means it promotes cell rejuvenation or cell regeneration. So there are some of the essential oils that are cytophylactic that help heal the tissue very rapidly, heal wounds and outbreaks and things like that. Lavender is a great example where it helps to promote healing of the tissue. So it's used on blemishes, outbreaks, cuts, and things like that because it's cytophylactic. Lipophilic, as I mentioned just before, we call it fat friendly. It has the ability, the essential oils have ability to absorb deep into the skin and internal organs. So first through the dermal layers and into the capillaries and then to vital organs. So they do penetrate very quickly and easily. We say never apply the essential oils concentrated direct onto the skin. Always use them diluted. Right? We say never use them undiluted as a general rule. There are some essential oils that can be used for spot treatment, like on a cut or a burn or a wound or something like that. So there are some essential oils that we say can be applied neat, but the general rule when you're getting started, just for caution, is to say never use an oil, the essential oil undiluted. So actually on that note, I'd like to just say that my favorite is to use an organic massage oil. In Earthlight, we have a beautiful organic massage oil blend that is unscented, right? So this is a great base because it's pure organic base oils with your organic essential oils. So you can't get any cleaner or purer than that. And so that is my preferred base. The essential oils are sensitive to heat and light. So this is very important to know, especially if you're a massage therapist, a practitioner that's traveling to your clients' homes or back and forth from different locations, and you have your table in your car and you might carry your oils in your car. You may know already that your massage oils will go rancid with heat, right? So you want to protect them from the heat. And with essential oils, there's not a rancidity, but the essential oils, when they're exposed to the light, it does cause them to evaporate or disintegrate. So the integrity of the oil is lost. So that's why we have our Earthlight oils in blue, cobalt blue, which is very traditional in Europe. The cobalt blue bottles help protect the essential oil from the light. And then of course in heat, you want to store your oils in a dark, cool place. And as I said, not keeping them in a hot car, day after day after day. In the summertime, you can transport them in a thermal bag, like a lunch bag type thing, insulated with a cold pack. That's a great thing to do. They will stay longer over years. Essential oils in their pure, undiluted form can stay for years and years. The citrus oils tend to evaporate even with the cap closed tight because they are so light and volatile. But in general, your essential oils can have a very long shelf life before they get diluted into base oils, because the base oils the plant-based oils are fatty vegetable oils. And that's what tends to go rancid over time. That's what tends to make the sheets sometimes smell, not so great over time if you're not able to wash your linens really thoroughly. So it's the vegetable-based oils that cause that rancidity, but the essential oils do not, as long as you're keeping them, as I said, stored properly. The other thing I just mentioned is that we call the essential oils very adaptable, and that we say that they're flexible in response to specific needs. So they do travel to vital organs and they have different impact. But what you blend an essential oil with, like which essential oils you blend together, affects sometimes the the action, right? So good example would be if you take orange and cedarwood. If you take orange and cedarwood, it's going to be more sedating and relaxing. But if you took orange and peppermint, it would be more uplifting and invigorating. So with some of the oils, it's all about what you're blending them with. And that's why, I guess I'll show you this right now, but that's why I wanted to show you the Earthlite pre-blended concentrates. So these are blend concentrates of essential oils with different wellness focuses. So they're ready for blending into the unscented base. And so you don't have to worry about, you know, which one's uplifting, which one's relaxing. We've done all the work for you and safely formulated them for use. And they go right into your unscented base oil or lotion. See, whoops, I went backwards. There we go. So as I was saying, the essential oils come from different plant parts. And so this is, I think, a great reference page here, is that the flowering tops and blossoms create ylang ylang, jasmine, rose, oils like that. They're very delicate. They're very sweet and floral, we say. When we steam distill flowering parts as well as the shrub or the whole plant, rosemary and lavender are great examples where they can take the whole shrub, the whole plant, and steam distill that for the essential oil, not just the flowering tops. And so, you know, if you grow rosemary in your garden or lavender in your garden and you just crinkle the herb, you can smell it right off of the needles. Actually, you can see right here is a picture on the screen. I have my cursor going around of the rosemary, and you just crunch that up and you can just smell it. It's extremely aromatic. A good example of leaves down here, I have eucalyptus. Steam distillation of the leaves would be eucalyptus. Peppermint is another good example. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the peel or the rind of the fruit is pressed. It's cold pressed. And grapefruit is a great example of that, or lemon, lime, the citrus fruits, bergamot, things like that. Also extracted are from the seeds of the fruit, or seeds like black pepper, orange. There's a bitter orange from the seed. That's not something that we use today, but just so you know that they do press. Cardamom is a good example where they press the seeds and extract the oils. And then wood oils, sandalwood, cedarwood are good examples of the wood oils, and root oils, vetiver, ginger root, even angelica root. So just to give you an example that different plant parts are used, you know, for the extraction methods. And now here's a very important point, is just that there's such a variance of quality in the marketplace. And, you know, you can go in so many different stores, Bed Bath and Beyond and Walgreens and Costco and CVS, you name it, and you'll find essential oils today. They've really grown in popularity over the last few years. It's really exciting to see that, but there really is a big variance in quality. And so for all the years that I've been teaching aromatherapy, and I've been in spa and wellness for over 25 years, providing training to massage therapists and estheticians and spa practitioners in world-class spas throughout the US and North America and internationally, as you know, in Asia and so on. And I will tell you that it's about trusting your source. And I know that if you're on this class, you have some introduction and some relationship with Earthlite. And I will say that, you know, I've worked really hard in my role now for Earthlite Spa and Wellness products to offer the products that have such purity and integrity that you can feel proud to use, that you can feel comfortable in working with your clients and sharing, you know, this caliber of treatment and therapy, natural therapy, because it's hard to know if you're just getting started in essential oils and aromatherapy. It's very hard to know what makes a quality oil. So I wanted to take the time right now just to make a few comments about that, because it's hard to know when you're getting started. And so I've always said you need to rely on trusted source. The essential oils don't come from one country. They don't come from one farmer. They come from all over the world, because the plant material, the botanicals, require different growing conditions, different growing regions, and altitude and moisture and so on. And so there's a big variance, you know, in terms of what kind of climate zone we need to grow certain botanicals. So just keeping that in mind, that you know, it's very important to take a look at your sources. The other good indicator is you want to see, is it certified organic or wildcrafted, pesticide free? Those are the things that you want to look for. You want to look for the source. You want to look for country of origin and Latin botanical names. So that gives you more information about what oils. There's many varieties of eucalyptus, Eucalyptus globulus, Eucalyptus citriodora, lemon eucalyptus. So you want to know what you're getting, because the Latin botanical name will tell you what the chemotype is, what the chemical makeup should be to some degree. It'll give you that indicator, and therefore what therapeutic properties that particular essential oil will have. Okay, so with that, just to say that the starting with growing the plants, right? The variety of the plant, that species, the time that you harvest, the richness of the soil, the weather conditions. Is it drought? Is it excessive rains and floods? This will all affect the growing the plants. I live in wine country in California, and that's a good analogy, is that you grow the grapes, and the sugar content of the, but also on the soil conditions, the weather conditions. Was there an early frost? Was it drought? Drought conditions, things like that affect the actual grape. So same thing with the plant material, that then we extract the essential oil from. So lots of variations there, or variables, which impact the quality of the oil, and then how it's extracted. Is it extracted at high heat temperatures, so you lose the full spectrum of the chemistry? Or is it extracted at low temperatures for longer periods of time, so that you can get the full spectrum of the chemistry? So it's very, very fascinating to me. And also I would mention that some extractions are done with propylene glycol, which is a petroleum-based solvent product. And if you see on an ingredient bottle, you might see lavender and propylene glycol, means that the extraction of the lavender was with the propylene glycol. So that's something that I don't recommend that you be using. That's up to you. But in the natural products world, I would recommend avoiding the petroleum-based solvents, please. Let me just go here. Oops, excuse me. Let me get the, there we go, so I can see. Okay, so I think I went into that enough, that not all oils are created equal, right? There's so much to it. And that's why I am just so proud to be able to share with you our Earthlite Holistic Alchemy collection of essential oils and blend concentrates, because we've done the work, we've done the research, we've done the due diligence for you. And I feel really confident that what we're offering to you for aromatherapy practice, for integrating it into your massage practice or your wellness practice, that you have, high quality integrity products that you can trust. So this is just a photograph, just very quickly. I was mentioning there's different extraction methods. I won't go into this in detail. I just wanted you to see that there is a whole system to how we do extraction. And this is steam distillation. So really quickly, showing that you're heating water, just like you would steam your broccoli. You're heating the water, with the fire and the plant material. So at home, it would be your broccoli, let's say, that you're steaming, but here it could be lavender plant, right? And so you're heating the water, which creates a steam, which runs through the plant material, and it bursts the cellulose, or the cell walls. So when it bursts the cellulose, the phytohormones release, and the steam, the vapors rise, and then it runs through what we call the condenser, which allows it to start cooling off. The vapors start cooling off, and then they separate into water and oil. The water is the steam distillation byproduct. It's often called a hydrosol or a hydrolyte. And it is so incredible because it has all the water-soluble constituents, let's say of the lavender, for example. So the hydrosol, the lavender hydrosol is, it's got all the water-soluble constituents, and the essential oil has all the fat-soluble constituents. So it's really fascinating. That's why we need to use oil, ideally, as our carrier for the essential oils to transport it across the tissues of the skin so it can then absorb into the dermal layers, into the capillaries, and travel through the body, right? So can you add essential oils to lotion? Yes, you absolutely can, because lotions are a mixture of oil and water, but the absolute purest carrier system is the pure oils that we're referring to. And as I said, I'm just going to show you again, because the Earthlite Organic is my favorite formula because it's so clean. And so the water byproduct, right, the hydrosol, is really excellent for cleaning the skin, for aromatherapy, refresh, and it can be used to tone the skin and so on. There are many purposes in aesthetics that uses the hydrosols, but in our case, we're using the essential oils, and as I said, very, very concentrated, right? 75 to 100%, 100 times more concentrated than dried herbs, right? So those essential oils, the yield is actually very small for the large amount of plant material you have to use. And, you know, it's like hundreds of pounds to get 1 pound of essential oil for some of the essential oils that are extracted. It's just phenomenal. So just really fascinating to me. And I hope to you too. So we have 2 pathways of aromatherapy. And this is the wonderful thing, right? Transdermal delivery through the skin and olfactory reception. Okay, so massage is so incredibly perfect as the delivery system for the essential oils. And that's why I think, as a practitioner, if you have not started incorporating essential oils into your massage therapy practice, you need to get started today, because you're only enhancing the therapy benefits that they're receiving from your technical work, right? So you're doing this incredible technical work with your hands and your knowledge. And whether it's structural body work, deep tissue, energetic work, lymphatic, every single modality can be enhanced with the synergy of using essential oils. So I highly encourage you to get started and give it a try. And you'll find that when you're, you know, blending in proper proportions with safe measures, and we provide all those guidelines for you, it will only enhance the experience for your client in a positive way for their scent, you know, their sensual experience, so to speak, right? For their olfactory experience, but it's also impacting the brain. So the olfactory reception, and I'll show you that in a moment, is going to affect the nervous system, the psyche, the emotions. And then physically, the transdermal delivery through the skin is going to impact, as we said, the circulatory system, vital organ function, all kinds of things. So, you know, on the physical level of the body, physiologically. So this is just to emphasize the skin. So we are in the perfect situation as body workers and practitioners, because we have the delivery system, right, on the body. And then I wanted to just show this great picture of the brain, because I wanted to point out that the sense of smell, if you can see my cursor, is right here. And that sense of smell is part of the limbic system of the brain. And so it is a very small part of the brain, but it is an ancient part of the brain. So we've been smelling or responding to scent for thousands and thousands of years, right? The primitive part of the brain. And as we know, animals, if you have a pet, you know, your dog is sniffing around and moving based on what their reception is, right? And the messages they're getting from their sense of smell. It's a very, very powerful part of our sensory system, and it tends to get overshadowed by visual stimulation, you know, all the visual stimulation that we have online through the media, social media, you know, on your smartphones and so on. So we get a lot of bombardment of visual stimulation and auditory, listening to music and all, but our scent responses, our sense of smell is extremely astute when we give it the attention, right? When we give the space for us to receive that information and process it. Sometimes it happens consciously, sometimes it happens unconsciously. You know, something is disturbing us, but we don't pick up that it is a particular scent when you walk into a room, for example. So, but it's fascinating that the sense of smell, what happens, so we receive through the olfactory receptors into this part of the brain, and then messages from the brain go to the rest of the body, and that is to, you know, energize, to activate, or to sedate and calm and unwind. You know, so those are just very good examples. Like in our own practice and massage therapy practice, we want to restore energy, we want to uplift, reinvigorate, you know. That's one way we can enhance with essential oils, or we want to unwind and calm. Now you can do both, like a massage can be relaxing, but you can still restore depleted energy. I really believe in that. Doesn't mean you get jacked up on caffeine. It means that you're rebuilding the reserves, right? To reboot, recharge, reset. So the main thing I want to point out here is just that the sense of smell has the longest recall of all the senses, and there's a lock and key mechanism. So you can smell a scent and it triggers a memory. So some people will say they smell lavender and it reminds them of their mom, you know, or in her garden or something like that. Or cedarwood, they'll smell cedarwood. For me, I always remember my childhood attic, and there was a cedar chest up in the attic. You'd go up into the attic and you could smell that cedar. I didn't know what it was at the time, but when I started working with essential oils, I have cedarwood right here. When I started working with the essential oils and I would close my eyes and smell it, it took me right back to my attic, you know, where I grew up, you know, my childhood home. So this lock and key mechanism is very powerful, because when your clients have positive experiences on the table in the treatment experience, I mean, positive, like heart opening, you know, whether it's just this nourishment and nurturing that we provide, and you combine that with the sense of smell, it actually anchors it, and it will trigger it again. So if they use that same formula at home, it actually triggers the memory in the tissue, in the connective tissue. And it's really amazing. The other point here is just that the sense of smell travels faster to the brain than any other sensory information. So, you know, I was saying how we get bombarded with visual stimulation and auditory, you know, sounds, so all of that, but, and touch, of course, but it is the sense of smell that is the first information that the brain processes. So someone walks into your treatment room or into a clinic or into a spa, and the aroma is really important. And, you know, we used to be afraid to use aroma that way, scents, environmental fragrancing. We were afraid because we thought, well, what if someone is sensitive or has allergies or is offended by it? You know, it was the synthetic fragrances, and they're still on the market. The synthetic fragrances are the ones that cause more negative reaction. It's not that a natural couldn't, where someone says, oh, I don't really like that, you know, but it's the synthetics that tend to cause more of the negative reactions and aversions. And so when you lightly use environmental fragrancing, you can actually alter mood and the way people receive when they come to the front desk of a spa or into the clinic, for example. I'll tell you, know, my favorites are using citruses. They're very friendly. Grapefruit or orange, super friendly, joy oils, happy, uplifting, positive, very unimposing, and is a great welcoming oil. So using that in the diffuser is a great way to start. It's just welcoming and friendly. And you know, the thing about essential oils, they don't linger in the air like synthetics. So that's something important to remember. So, you know, they don't hang in the air. So you do have to replenish your diffuser, definitely, periodically, right? Because the essential oils evaporate, they're volatile naturally, so they do dissipate into the space. It's the synthetic fragrances. Have you ever been in an elevator where someone had a cologne on or a perfume and it just hung there and you're in the elevator trapped in that small space, and it's pervasive, right? So the synthetics tend to hang, and that's why commercial products use synthetics, because they hang. Laundry detergents, good example. Dryer sheets, those are all synthetic fragrances made from petrochemicals that hang and hold. So just, you have a choice. Do you want to use naturals or do you want to use synthetics? And we choose at Earthlite, we choose the naturals. Different ways that we use essential oils. Of course, you know, in massage therapy, I don't need to say that, but in skincare, balneotherapy, different bath therapies, bath soaps, psychoaromatherapy is becoming very popular. As I said, it's about changing mood, affecting depression. You know, we're not making claims, you know, no one should be going off their medications if their doctor is prescribing, but there are many essential oils that can be very helpful to the psyche. We call them euphorics, and they're uplifting. They take the edge off, the agitation, the irritation. They've just been used since ancient times, called euphorics. So that's getting very, very popular. That's where perfumery, part of it was where it was founded. Of course, there's more to that history, but environmental fragrancing we did speak about. That's a very simple way to incorporate aromatherapy into your day-to-day, in your practice and at home. So these are sort of some nuts and bolts regarding essential oils. Very important to store in. It reminds me of being in France, but this is traditional apothecary glass from Europe, and the cobalt blue is nice. Amber also does the same thing, black ultraviolet bottles. All of those will protect. I've seen green glass too, that protect from UV exposure. And then airtight, these don't leak. You can travel with them. They're just very, very easy to, I always travel with my essential oils. I never take less than 3 when I'm on the road, although I haven't been traveling lately, but it's always great. And they're small enough that you can travel with them. And if you are seeing clients, you know, at different locations, is a very easy way to incorporate your essential oils, you know, with travel-friendly bottles. I did mention that you want to avoid heat and light, of course, and the essential oils will evaporate if they are, if even the citruses will in the tight bottle, but definitely if they're exposed to more oxygen, you know, they will start dissipating, but you'll keep your caps on tight, I'm sure. So here is our lineup, and I wanted to show this because this is actually the baseline. Okay, this is, you know, aromatherapy 101. These are the essential oils. If I were getting started today, I would start with this list. You might pick out 3 and memorize, master them, work with them in your practice, use them at home, and get familiar with them and what their benefits are. And then you can add another 3 or so on. You know, I have many, many essential oils around me, but if I had to narrow it down, and it's really tough to do so, I would narrow it down to this as the core essentials right here. And many of you are familiar already with the benefits of these oils. I do want to touch on this a little bit, and I will, I'll come back to it before we close, but lavender, maybe I'll start here for just a little bit, but lavender, as you know, it's extremely popular. Why is it so popular? Because it's called first aid kit in a bottle by many. You know, it's very versatile. It's also been called the spa oil. You know, you go into a lot of spas these days, lavender, lavender, lavender. And why is that? Well, because it is relaxing. There are other essential oils that are very relaxing also, but it's relaxing, it's stress relieving, it's a balancer. Actually, in aromatherapy science, we call it a balancer. In skincare, we say it balances dry skin, it balances oily skin. Remember when I was talking about the hydrosol? Just for you to know that that is actually very balancing. So we think of lavender like that first and foremost, and also stress relieving and calming. A lot of people have heard that you can put a drop on your pillow at night, and it helps you, you know, prepare for a good rest. So that's a simple way to use it. Putting it in your diffuser, of course, at nighttime is a beautiful thing. Eucalyptus Probably many of you have used eucalyptus. I don't know, you might have had synthetic eucalyptus in some of the muscle and sport oils and liniments and gels and everything that's on the market, the professional market today in massage therapy. Unfortunately, there's a lot of low grade eucalyptus and some synthetic or chemical forms. And even in the steam rooms of fitness clubs and spas, I have seen synthetic eucalyptus being used, or very, very low grade, and it will burn the nasal passages for steam inhalation. If it's synthetic, it will burn the nasal passages. So pure organic eucalyptus can be used for steam inhalation, which, you know, for hundreds of years has been used for respiratory therapies by medical doctors, natural practitioners. And it's used in steam rooms, of course, because of that tradition. And it's also used in muscle and joint formulas, very, very popular in massage therapy. It's warming to the muscles, and that warming quality helps ease stiffness in the joints because it starts moving circulation. It's also a balancer, which is interesting. And that's a nice combination, actually, is the lavender and the eucalyptus combined. Peppermint is so awesome. You have to be really careful with peppermint, not to use too much, but you can. This is an example where, like with lavender, you can take 1 drop of lavender and put it on a cut or a blemish or the temples like this. And that's where peppermint can be great too. Be very careful not to get it in the eyes, because the vapors, it would burn the eyes. But if you apply it to the temples, the peppermint has a very cooling, and the occipital ridge, it will have a very cooling effect, soothing and cooling. Peppermint is uplifting energetically. It's popular in vitality blends and Revive. We have a blend, our blend concentrate is Revive. So peppermint is very uplifting and invigorating, but it won't give you, if people are saying, well, I want to relax with my massage, then I don't want peppermint. Like I said, it's refreshing, you know, sort of clears the air, you know, when you use it in a diffuser, but clears the air like energetically for an individual. Like you get a breath of fresh air with peppermint. So it's a beautiful oil that way to sort of start anew. I did want to mention, I'll show this a little bit later, but our Earthlite Holistic Alchemy eye pillows, the therapeutic eye pillows, they have crushed herbs in them. And while I'm talking about lavender and peppermint, I wanted you to know those are 2 of the key herbs in the pillows. And so when you press them, it crinkles the dried herbs, not the essential oil, but the dried herbs. And you can breathe that in. And when it's placed over the eyes, you can get a gentle, subtle aroma of the lavender and mint in here that are calming to the nervous system, you know, relieving, just kind of soothing that mental tension, headache relief, and so on. So eye pillows are really, really beneficial that way. And of course, we would recommend disposable covers to use with the pillow. And we also have washable silk covers as well. So of course, for proper hygiene, you always want to cover your pillows. But I wanted to mention the lavender and peppermint specifically there. The next oil I just want to touch on is rosemary, and rosemary is another invigorating oil. It's circulating. It's considered in the Aromatherapy Society. It's considered one of the most stimulating of the oils, energizing, invigorating, as I said, reviving, renewing, and also you'll find that in our Revive. But it is also good for mental clarity, we say. Like, it's traditionally used among botanists and natural practitioners for, actually, rosemary and peppermint together is a great combination for energizing, reinvigorating, and mental clarity, we say, you know. So I like to put rosemary and peppermint in a diffuser when you're working at the computer, working late hours, studying, for your children that are studying and they're, you know, working from home now, but are at college. That those 2 are my favorites for keeping someone like mentally alert and with some clarity. Grapefruit, of course, is a citrus oil, and grapefruit, all the citrus oils, as I mentioned, like orange, we call them happy oils, joy oils. They're positive, they're friendly, and depending on what you blend them with, as I said, if you blend the grapefruit or orange with rosemary, it will be uplifting and stimulating. And if you blend it with lavender or cedarwood, it'll be calming and more sedating. So what you blend it with does matter. The citrus oils, though, think of them as joy oils, happy oils, friendly, and they unimposing, I guess is what I want to say. So that's a good place to start if you're just getting going with essential oils. Lemongrass smells like citrus, but it's a grass. It's not the peel of the fruit. And so it has a different aromatic twist, but obviously it smells very citrusy. It smells fresh and clean, and it also is invigorating and uplifting. But lemongrass has, by some aromatherapists, has been used for headache tension and, mental tension relief, so to speak. And also it's, some aromatherapists formulate it with their muscle blends, like in a muscle blend for like antispasmodic purposes of the muscles. So I had never used it that way, but there are several of my master aromatherapists who I love to confer with will use lemongrass that way. So you can use lemongrass on the temples very lightly with any of the oils. I only would suggest either lavender or peppermint and possibly the lemongrass, but never to get in the eyes, of course. A great one for diffusers. That's the next spa oil. You know, we've gone through lavender so much, and lemongrass gives it a little bit of an Asian twist because much of the lemongrass comes from Asia, but also from Haiti. And but it's a great diffuser oil because it just freshens the space. And I mentioned orange with grapefruit being a citrus oil and what you blend it with. And then lastly, cedarwood, grounding, think wood, right? Grounded, rooted, centered, balanced. That's how we think of cedarwood. It's a heavier viscous oil in its consistency. It acts as a base note. It holds everything together. And it's a beautiful, calming, relaxing essential oil. So those are single notes that I think are a great place to start, but I also want to show you that in the Earthlight Holistic Alchemy collection, we have the blend concentrates. Now, many aromatherapy lines will have different blends and they have different themes to them. And what we did is create what I felt were the most common everyday wellness concerns, so balance, who doesn't need balance in their lives today, right? Who isn't seeking balance? A lot of times in the training classes, I'll ask, is there anyone here not, seeking balance in their life? So everyone can benefit by balance, of course. And then calm is, you can imagine, calm is for unwinding, settling nerves, slowing down your pace. So a perfect complement in massage at any time, right? Muscle soothe also, that's very universal in the sense that for every massage, because you're working on the muscle tissue, muscle soothe would enhance the benefits of your massage technique, okay? And just in general, with all of these essential oils, whether it's the blend concentrates or the single notes, 10 to 15 drops per ounce of your unscented base. We have, Pro-Light, and we have a natural nut oil as well, which can act as base oils too, if that's your preference. And as I mentioned, the organic. So 10 to 15 drops per ounce is the general rule according to, master aromatherapists. And that's a good place to start, right? Never do more than that. But Muscle Soothe is a great example of, for any massage, you could be using Muscle Soothe. Purify is formulated, it's dual purpose, it's really formulated to refresh the air. And so this is one of my choices. If I look at my rack, I actually like to have all of them, to be honest, because it depends on what's going on, right? What's happening with your client. But then if you're using it for diffusing, you have different needs, and your family has different needs. And so having a setup like this, you can choose, and what are you going to use in the diffuser? What are you going to use in your treatment? So it gives you a good repertoire to work from. And so Purify, I love in the diffuser to refresh the space, clear the energy, and just renew. And also, used in massage, same way, just as renewing, just to I would say mostly like I'm thinking energetically, but it does move circulation. So it helps move the body's metabolic processes. So, you know, anytime we move circulation, we're moving waste products out of the cells to help cleanse. And certainly the lymph system helps to cleanse and purify. So that's a natural function of, you know, healthy cellular metabolism. And so we want to think about how we move circulation, how we stimulate it. The Revive blend I mentioned earlier, just energizing, renewing, uplifting, refreshing. So many people are working so hard today, and you're multitasking, you know, um, dealing with, you know, issues at work, and then taking care of your kids, and then maybe an elder parent. You know, there's so many responsibilities we have with our families and our friends and our work responsibilities. So you know, I think that we tend to get overextended, and we have this tendency to want to get a Starbucks and get a jolt of caffeine or an energy drink, which I highly recommend avoiding. But to think about using essential oils aromatically and topically, right, for transdermal delivery to boost your energy. And also, I just think about, you know, when you're overextended and you feel like you don't have the bandwidth, you know, you want to fill your cup back up. So it's about restoring depleted energy. I think that's very important, instead of substituting something like, you know, that tries to give you a jolt of the energy. It's restoring the depleted energy. That's my approach. And you know how nourishing and nurturing massage can be, and how, you know, people might feel super relaxed and sedate, but at the same time, it's giving their body a chance to recover and rejuvenate. So, you know, that's a very, very important part of our work. And the sleep concentrate blend, of course, you know, this is deeply relaxing, calming to the nervous system, unwinding, and just settling. And can be used at any time that someone has a lot of um, anxious energy, anxiety, amped up, and has a hard time relaxing. The sleep blend is a really nice one to go with, and also the calm. I'm going to just go through a couple more slides. Many ways that we use the essential oils, and obviously in massage, that's our number one recommendation, and diffusing, you know, those two ways: environmental fragrancing through the diffuser and massage, inhalation therapies, bath therapies, compresses, so many different ways, and even down to you can use essential oils for insect repellent. So they're very versatile for personal use too. And remembering that they're disinfecting. Certain essential oils are more disinfecting than others, antiseptic as well, air purifying, refreshing, you know, meditative. They have so many different effects, and it depends on which essential oil and its plant chemistry that determines that. So I wanted to just show you a couple of other items that I consider part of the aromatherapy repertoire, or your aromatherapy tools. And Earthlite, we're just introducing item that I have used in the spa industry for, gosh, over 25 years. And it's a neck wrap. So it's filled with herbs and rice. So the important thing is that the hard herbs can be heated over and over again. We use a microwave to heat it just for a couple minutes, and then it's placed around the neck. Now at home, I can use this directly on my body, but in the clinic or a spa treatment room, we have covers, washable covers. We have disposable covers for the neck wraps. But what's so great about this, you get moist heat therapy and you get the aromatherapy, because the spice herbs that we use, cinnamon bark, allspice berry, clove, orange peel, they all give a wonderful cinnamon spice aroma that's grounding and comforting and soothing. So it's really super cool that you can have the benefit of the moist heat therapy. You can also freeze the packs and use it for cold therapies too. And then the comfort pack is a rectangular pack, and so it's very multi-purpose. So you can use it along the spine in treatment, the low back, upper back, on the abdomen to calm the nerves and settle the nerves. That moist heat therapy is very soothing and comforting, of course, but it can also be used cold as well. But the main thing, when we do heat it up, you can hear the herbs sloshing around right now, but when you do heat it up, it releases moist heat therapy with the cinnamon spice aromatics. That's what I'm trying to get at. So you have a wonderful people will always comment, oh, that smells so good. And that just like settles them down and gets them in a positive frame. And so when you combine your tools, your wellness tools with the aromatherapy, then your clients are going to feel so well served and attended to. They're going to feel that you're taking the treatment experience to the next level. And you also have products to recommend to them for home use, for their own self-care practice, for your self-care practice. All of the products that I've mentioned that, we're using essential oils or the herbs that release the aromas, all of these products can be used in treatment for your professional work and for self-care at home. And that's the thing we really want to emphasize. And I really want to emphasize, because there's only so much that you can do in 60 minutes or 90 minutes in a treatment. But what happens in between when the client is not with you every day? How are they taking care of themselves? And if we can turn them on to an essential oil, using a diffuser, using the aromatherapy eye pillow before they go to bed at night or during their meditation practice, or one of the comfort packs, then we are providing them a greater service and teaching them or providing them the tools so that they can take responsibility for their health and well-being. Because we know today more than ever before that our vital well-being, our resilience is so important. And I am so excited to share all this with you, because I think that, we say this big term aromatherapy, we say essential oils, but there's so many forms that we can use the essential oils in bringing it into our lives and enhancing the therapy in our treatment practice. I think I have one more slide just to note the products that incorporate aromatherapy that in our Earthlite Holistic Alchemy collection that we carry. And Earthlite website is where you can go and get more information. And I just wanted to share with you. And I just want to say what a pleasure it was for me to share this information with you. It's been years and years of personal practice, professional practice, and teaching and training in world-class resorts and spas throughout. And I have found that I grow, every time I incorporate an essential oil, I learn about it and I grow with that, and it enhances my life. And I hope that that you will, embrace this, because I know that it will enhance yours as well. Thank you so much for the time. And I hope that you'll start using essential oils in your practice and your self-care. And you can see that there are many tools that support vital well-being for you each and every day.